Yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to bring you the preview for the Capital Enduro series. It is the first round. It is in Resarö in Vaxholm, just north of Stockholm, and for the first time we're bringing you a preview powered by Marin and Trailstore. We are on board the Marin Trail E. I'm pretty new to e-bikes. I had a little go on it last night. It was super duper fun. I kind of hate myself for saying it, but e-bikes are pretty freaking cool. I'm going to show you the drive or the ride from the car park to the venue. While we're doing that, I'm going to talk you through all the changes to the series this year. Then we're going to get into some little POVs and look at some little sections and talk about what's coming up at this first race. All right, we've powered up the beauty. We're going to stick her in, what we got? Oh no, we're going trail mode I think rather than boost. And see you in a bit, car. Away we go. Right, so you come out of the car park here, just round the corner from the venue, and it's a short pedal over to the tracks. My, is that windy. Right, so this year there's a couple of changes to the Capital Enduro. Anyone that's ridden in the Götaland Enduro will be familiar with this format. So we're going to have 5 stages at this race. There's going to be a mixture of 4 or 5 stages at every round, and the idea is that you have sort of 2 easier stages and 2 harder stages. Oh, it looks like we've got some other riders here today. Excellent stuff. So it's going to be split this year, so you're going to have short, medium and long, kort eller long, and what that means is the people who ride in the short course, you're going to do the 2 easier trails to the blue graded trails, and you're going to ride them twice. The medium are going to do 2 blue trails and 1 of the longer or more difficult tracks I should say, and then the long is all of the tracks. This race will, like I say, be 5 stages, and we'll have 1 extra stage. That'll be the longest and most technically demanding track. So for Resarö you will have 9 tracks to race in total. I've never really been a big advocate of e-bikes, but having ridden one, this one yesterday and another one a couple of weeks ago, I've really come to understand the enjoyment people get out of e-biking. It's really quite something else. The tracks we're going to show you now. Done a few warm-up runs, feel a bit nicer, my hands aren't frozen, and we're going to start with this one, which is stage 4. It was new for last year. It's bedded in a bit more. It's quite awkward. I actually think it flows a bit better on a normal bike than it does on the e-bike, because you don't get so weighed down. But let's have a little run down and talk you through it. So you come out of the gate and it's quite rough straight away. Same in here, a bit of an awkward drop. That's definitely one first run you do. Maybe walk in and have a little look at it first. Over these routes, you can see the main line is a bit more worn in now, but it's not what I would call a smooth track. Yeah, and then you got this little bit, if you can pick up the front end, that's quite nice, and then stay off the brakes in that right hander. If you can bunny hop, I would say that that is a good spot for it there. Okay. So there's a lot of these really awkward little compressions into this nice rock roller where you can get some power down. Whew. Long uphill into this right hander, tight left through the bushes, and then this bit that you can really hit with some pace. Whew. And then a nice little wooden bridge, got that natural feel to it. It's weird, it is sort of pointing downhill, but it takes a lot of work to keep going. I think the ending will have been about there. So it's a short track, it's going to require some effort, and the main thing you want to look at there is trying to stay nice and light on the bike and not get caught up on all those like square hits that you've got, and it brings you back out of this climb. So from the same starting point as a couple of the other tracks. It's stage 1. Whew. Done one run on this just to get myself aware where we're going. Big drop straight out the gate, quite a heavy impact, and hit. This corner is quite tricky. I suggest having a look at that one. There's a couple of lines you can take in there. This was in it last year, so if you race here in 2023, you'll be familiar with this track. Quite a big open slab here, really difficult to get your speed down. You want to get your head up, look at where you're going. That's quite a tough impact. A couple of branches that probably need a bit of trimming, and we come round here into steep bit, into this left-hander. The finish will be there. It's a good track to start the day. Not too much effort required. Yeah, not too much effort required, but definitely some lines to be looking at in there. So after taking the same climb up, you can see there's stage 4, there's stage 1. Now we take a little traverse over Bon Jovi, famous for such hits as Always. Someday I'll be Saturday Night, You Give Love a Bad Name. I think Someday I'll Be Saturday Night is probably my favourite. Bon Jovi was the Crossroads album, which was an amalgamation of their first 5 studio albums. Was something that played in my dad's car over and over again as a kid. So someday I'll be Saturday Night. I'll be back on my feet. I'll be doing all right. It may not be tomorrow, baby, that's okay. I'm going down, I'm gonna find my way. Hey, hey, man, I'm alive. Wow, I know a lot of words to Bon Jovi. Now, if you're looking for a reason to come and race, every time we do this traverse, I will be singing Bon Jovi songs. So, if nothing else, you want to be here for that. Okay, so just tried to lead you into this one. Got it wrong. This is my first run on this track today. If we don't like it, or I don't like the footage, we'll come up and do it again. But I'm not sure if that's actually going to be the start point. I think last year it was here between these trees, but it depends how kind Roger's feeling on the day. So in here, that's where I went wrong last time. Down into this section. Yes, I remember this. Some very sharp rocks there, so you just want to be light, let the bike work. That's a pretty big drop, that. This hasn't got any less gnarly, for anyone that was wondering. We're definitely going to do a second run on this. This is why, you know, if you've got the possibility to get here before and do some runs, really wouldn't be a bad idea. Even the run into this drop has got a bit wilder. Oh, and these turns are wild. Whoosh. Maybe we should go and do that one again and try and clean it up, eh? Because that was pretty intense. That's definitely one of the differences you feel on the e-bike. Like, I think you trade off that agility that you have on your normal bike to throw around and like get over some obstacles and pick your line, whereas this feels a bit more like a downhill bike in that it's just kind of point and shoot, you know. Like if you're offline, there's so much weight and momentum behind it, it just carries you through. But yeah, we'll head back up, hit that one again, and then we're going to come and ride one of the other trails. So we're back at the top of stage 5 with the wooden drop, and we're going to try and just ride it again, clean it up a bit, maybe give it a bit more gas. Might be a touch less talking on this one, but that traverse, like you have these first few corners, then the traverse like across the rough rocks Like if you have the time, it's definitely worth just walking through there and having a look at some lines and trying to work out what's going to be best for you. You really want to be off the brakes there and working the bike and being active and pushing the bike over and getting light when you can, because it'd be really easy to stall in there. But yeah, let's give it a roll and see what we can see. Roger usually does like a good sprint, so I imagine that will be the starting point. So here you can get just to the side of the rocks and you want to carry some pace for that first drop. That drop is heavy and harsh. That bit is gnarly. There's a lot of rocks there, really pointing straight at you, trying to eat your speed. Like I say, the important thing is really to stay off the brakes as much as you can, and straight away, like second run down it, brake a lot less. This drop is really heavy and these corners are tight, so you want to get your braking done, get off, let it roll. That is a good track, short and tech, and second time round you can really notice the difference. So like if you come in here, maybe like if you think you can do one lap in the morning and then race it, it might be quite intense. So try and get up here a bit before to check that stuff out if possible. But even then, like I've done one run, and then if the second run was like your race run, you'd feel, or I would feel, a lot happier about it. It felt quite good. Yeah, cool. But the key there really was braking so much less. Like I felt it so much, I was really off the brakes the second time across the rocks. So have a look at that. Oh, this is a proper winter get out. It's not what you want in the middle of April. So now we're going to go on to stage number 3. This stage I've ridden once today. It's got the most work, I would say, since last year. It's by far the easiest trail of the day. It's actually smooth, it's got some little jumps, and yeah, it's quite an easy one to lap on. So I would suggest that when you come here to train, this is the first track that you start with, get you nice and ready for the day. Okay, so let's drop in and give it some gas and talk you through it. It's pretty cool having the same bike that I actually ride but with an engine, I have to say. This track's a little bit tough on this bike, I think, like trying to throw it around because there's some tight little corners and berms and stuff. Last year we started from there, but you might be starting from the other side, I'm not sure. So you go outside this rock and in here. So like I say, there's actually some like built sections that you can really push into. You have to get really on the crank there to actually drop off of that thing. Good drop, that one. Whew. Little flat jump, and a traverse across here into a couple more jumps up, oh, and then down to the finish, jump over a log into a really nice berm. Oh, sick, so sick. This is the Marin Trail E for sale down at Trailstore. We are the representative for Marin in all of Sweden. So if you want to talk about any Marin bikes or this particular e-bike, speak to me or reach out to Jonathan at Trailstore and we'll take you through all the options that we have. Okay, so we're here at the top of stage 2. This one will only be ran once in the race. This is my first run on it since last year's race runs, so let's give it a run and talk you down it. This is the longest, hardest, most technically demanding track there is here. So we'll really take it a bit chill on the first one and then try and go a bit faster on the second. The climb up to this one is a bit tricky, so just take it easy. Off we go. So out the gate, around that first corner, up high and open that one out. Really hoping that the tracks have dried out just a touch more. That's really tricky. for the race. There's just a little bit of moisture hanging out underneath here. This is really going to require some power. And another one of those tracks that, you know, if you've got the time, get here and give it a little walk, because there's a lot to look at. I'm just trying to unpick it as we ride. It's very difficult to talk and see where you're going, but again, it's really about, you know, staying off the brakes there. That's a really tricky uphill. That thing of talking and riding. I know this bit was very difficult last year. It's still pretty difficult now. It's about really controlling that speed. That is also really steep. This was a rock, a wooden thing last year, but that's changed. You can see why this track will only be in it once. It's a difficult stage. Really good track, you know. Hard work. It'd be nice if we can get a couple of weeks of dryish weather. Looks like next weekend, so 1 week before the race, it looks like it's going to be quite warm and sunny. So with a bit of luck, the tracks will start drying up, because that in the dry is going to flow real nice. So there you go, everyone. That is the Capital Enduro round 1 in Resarö preview. Woo! Gave it some gas on those last couple of runs, so a little bit out of breath, but it's going to be a great race. Like, the conditions should get a little bit better, but even in these conditions it ran so nice. You want to, like, really, the Capital Enduro is probably the step between the Götaland and the National Series. If you can come here and ride well on these tracks, you can ride well on any tracks. There's a nice mix. They've done a bit of work on the trails. A couple of them are going to be a touch more cleared out before we race on them. All the information that you need to find on licenses, race entry, classes, all that sort of stuff, find it in the links below. Follow Capital Enduro and gravityseries.se on Instagram. That's where all the updates are going to be. And if you made it this far, please like and subscribe, because we're trying to bring this to everyone that rides bikes in Sweden and show them what great racing we have here. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. Drop a comment if you like what you're seeing and anything else you want to see in these previews. So thanks for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see you at the race. Peace.